today. So, I mean, I know what they look like. This is just a paper copy. The State Department of Education, I don't think they'll accept it.
But if the state of education denies her referral, what if, I was wondering, what if she punished me for that? Did she do that?
If the State Department of Education does what?
Denies the referral and says how wrong she is, and Mr. McMahon that goes up to her and says that I didn't do anything, can she punish me?
Can she punish you? If she does, she's gonna buy herself another $25,000 in a lawsuit. She's gonna pay me, honey. You're gonna get paid for this. I guarantee you, she's gonna pay for this. It's gonna come out of her ass. I'm gonna tell you that. She's gonna be on her knees begging me before it's over. This is bullshit from the word go. That is what I know. And I think I probably need to go and file a police report because of it. I used to have a chat with a detective about it because it's very suspicious. And people go through this shit and, you know, the cops hear about it all day. But I work with, there's a couple of cops I work with every day. So, yeah. I'm going to take this out of her ass, especially the shit she was saying to you. Somebody needs to sue her.
Shit she would say to you whenever she started
She tried to tell me I was no debate. And then she told me you admitted to it, to her and to Miss Baker. No, you didn't. And she said, you know, first she was so sympathetic and everything. And then, you know, I was asking her, how's Jacob? You know, I wanted to know how you were taking all this. And she put you on the phone. And you started telling me what was going on, and I asked you if you had admitted to it, and you told me no, you hadn't admitted to it. And what was she saying when she started yelling at me? Was that after you two were on the phone or before that? It was after. I'm gonna take this out of her ass. I guarantee you I am.
She said, it's no debate. And I told you she said that.
There's no brain, Jake, it's a no-brainer, okay? As many classrooms that I've worked in just about all the schools in Caddo. I've worked in over 70 schools in Caddo Parish, okay? All day long, kids run up and tell teachers that so-and-so did this, okay? They do it all day long. They do it in groups. And the last thing that a teacher ever does is look at those kids and say, oh, you said little Tommy did this, so let me write him up on a referral and send him home on a 3-day suspension because you 3 girls say that he did this. That is the very last thing any teacher would ever do. That is something that not even a first-year teacher would do. Anybody that's ever worked with kids knows that you don't do that. And anybody with any type of experience, let alone a principal that does that, should be fired. Because of the sheer fact that it's just very poor judgment to listen to the words of children and believe it just because they said it, and disregard the testimony of the only adult in the classroom without even witnessing it yourself. And then you didn't see it. The teacher in the classroom is telling you that he didn't see the kid do anything, and he's emphatically saying that I didn't write that referral. He wanted you to know that.
So whatever game she thinks she's playing, it's not gonna work for her. I know better.
I told her, I said, he said, here, let me see that. He said, I didn't like this is my shirt. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she destroyed his referral that he wrote, where he said he didn't think he did anything wrong because he didn't back her up. And I mean, that's just absolute foolishness. Absolute foolishness to ever do that. Kids are so manipulative now that they will do something. They will plan an attack on another student and arrange their witnesses to back them up.
Yep.
And you'll have 5 kids run to you and say, I saw him do this, this, and this, and my poor friend, and all this stuff. And you go talk to those kids, and what do you find out? Those 5 kids were all harassing the other group of kids, and they were all being stupid and acting like kids act. That's when you just say, okay, sit your ass down, write me some lines, whatever. You lose 30 minutes of your recess. You get no computer time today. You know, you're actually required to supervise children. And at your age, in 7th grade, middle school students are vicious because they're young teenagers and they're very cliquish. They are beginning to develop their own identities. They want to assert their own will. They're becoming adults, young adults. So there are all these psychological stages of their development that require them to experience selfishness in order to acknowledge their own identity and to recognize themselves as free thinkers with their own motives and to develop the maturity to handle that. So because of that, they will do things where they will try to assert themselves as adults because they're testing the waters. This is what it feels like to be an adult. This is what it's like to stand up and talk with your best big boy voice and see if you can make a legitimate point of view so that you can say, oh, see, look, I am grown and people can respect me and I can talk like I'm grown and have maturity. Unfortunately, that is only what middle school students do. When they're going through it, they do that and they don't have the judgment of an adult. They don't have the maturity or the insight of an adult. So they are just learning how to test those boundaries. And so they're going to test them and they're going to do ridiculous things like argue over why they should be allowed to dye their hair purple and spike it and wear ridiculously high heels and, glow-in-the-dark hair paint because they're developing their own individuality and their ability to say, this is who I am. This is me. I'm not anybody else. I'm not my mom. I'm not my dad. I am my own person. So they'll stand up and they'll argue over stuff like that. And they want to do that. They want to be treated like adults, but they're not grown yet. So to allow children to come to you, especially middle school age, and treat them as though they are adults and say that just because they said it happened, that that's the way it happened, that's foolishness. There is not anybody. I've worked with tons of middle school kids, and they will do that, and they will try and be just like they're grown. They'll try to take authority over teachers with the same attitude. You did this, and I'm going to do this because you did that. And I'm, and that's it, and you're wrong, and I'm right, and who cares, I'm going to get your ass, and I'm the big dog here. They will do it all day long. I've had it. I put up with it all day today from kids. Thought they were going to do that to me, and didn't work for them. I threw them out of class. I gave them their warnings. They didn't want to listen. So, that was it. They found out the difference between me and them. But while they were doing that, they were looking at me and talking with their best grown-up big boy voices about how they were right. And it wasn't just me.